people, welcome to my channel if you're new to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you're not new to my channel. Today, we have another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Deborah Crankin situation. I talked about the situation shortly on TikTok, but I decided that the only way to get in all the information, especially for this video series, was to do an entire YouTube video on the entire situation. So, before we get started, make sure you're subscribed. It helps a lot. Like, comment, do everything. Tell me where you're at. Tell me where you're going. If you are driving, do not comment where you're at. Do not comment where you're going. If you can pull over safely, then do it. I want to put a little disclaimer before we are talking about today. As always, there shouldn't be no hate with this situation, but even more, I would not like any sort of hatred to anyone in the LGBTQ plus IA community. That doesn't pertain to this situation. The situation that pertains is that this person is allegedly a scammer, and that is the important part. So let's talk about Deborah Crankin. So before I get started about talking about the Deborah Crankin situation, I'd like to go in depth with a little bit of background. So Deborah Crankin is a 23-year-old trans woman living in California. She, up until this whole situation, had over 100,000 followers on TikTok and was consistently posting about raising money for her GoFundMe for her transition. She was struggling to earn that money. She said that she lived in a situation that was precarious to her, needed help, needed safety, and thus she began her GoFundMes too. However, after a situation on Twitter, she got into some fights with some of her supporters and people started looking into her background. People found out that she has 9 secret or total GoFundMes. It's not necessarily secret because if you look up her name on GoFundMe up until a couple days ago, all 9 of them would pop up. Before we get started, there is something that else needs to be added. So Deborah Crankin ran an account called In Trans Network. It's now suspended. It was a trans positivity account, and they were exposed back in February of 2021 for denying help and blocking them because they were that was struggling with substance abuse. People noticed that them, despite the account being largely trans positive, they were only posting 90% of the time one person account. And who was that account? Deborah Crankin. And people started posting this and talking about this, how the fact that there was only one trans account, and that's when everything sort of went down. Let's start from the beginning. So the information dealing with Deborah Crankin's arrest records are pertinent to this case and pertinent to the belief that people think that she was using this to scam more people. So I just want to throw that disclaimer in. I'm not just talking about a person's arrest records because I think it's very serious to talk about those things without there being a reason behind it. So in 2018, Deborah Crankin was arrested. She apparently got into a physical altercation with her half-sister, who she claims to be 35 years old, after a discussion about her identity, her trans identity, by the way. Deborah Crankin claims in her own words that she was mounting her sister, and she then was charged and spent some time in jail. It's unknown how long, and her mother got a protective order against her. So Deborah was not allowed to go see her mother. And this is when people claim that Deborah was kicked out of her home at 19 years old, was when this fight happened. Deborah did post a picture on multiple social media outlets, and this is where people got the phrasing where she said, "Got arrested for protecting myself while my 35-year-old half-sister pushed me and attempted to wrestle me to the ground. I mounted her and her face and went to jail today." She posted a letter, and there's a 2018 date on it, and at the top it says protective order, and it says there's a certain amount of following conditions that she needs to follow. So now we're going to jump forward a little bit. In March of 2020, a YouTube account called TJ Travis Film, with Deborah Crankin as the profile picture, was started, and Deborah posted videos of documentaries she's made in high school. It's videos, it's a variety of things. There's paraphernalia, it's genuinely a variety of things. And there's around 400 subscribers, and there's only 12 videos on this page. In June of 2020, Deborah's first GoFundMe page was posted. It's called Debbie's Transition and Survival Guide, and it was made for her transition and survival fund. It raised 139,000 followers, and the goal was 375,000. In December of 2020, 2 more GoFundMes were made. One was for safe housing and one was for a down payment of her car, and they both raised $27,000 in total. Deborah then made a TikTok account for her music project. Now, it is exposed that around this time period, she posted somewhere on Reddit asking people, how do you raise money in the best and quickest way for a music project? Like, I don't know how, and it's linked to her. March of 2021, Deborah is arrested again for assault, and this time she claims she was attacked by a transphobic male and, in her words, was illegally detained by the LAPD in a men's prison. In April 2021, Deborah made her own TikTok account, and then she posts her first video, and this video becomes important later because she changed her tone in the way she speaks in these videos over time. Deborah then also began her promotion for her fundraisers. Deborah also then began her promotion for her GoFundMes. In the videos, she stresses a sense of urgency. She tells them that she really needs money, but as a lot of people pointed out, that sense of urgency got a lot worse as time went on. In August of 2021, she made a GoFundMe for safe housing. It is the Debbie Safe Housing Fund. And this one raised $10,000. She also made 2 more GoFundMes in August of 2021. One for her facial feminization surgery, $65,000 was raised, and her safe housing fund. She made another one, $10,000. The time period where she posted the other GoFundMe, however, she talked about her tax situations and how she really struggled, and she's been attacked 4 different times since her transition, 1 by her sister and 3 times by 3 different transphobic men. She claims that the last attack was the one that resulted in her being illegally detained by the LAPD, and she stayed in the 3 different men prison until she was released. It's uncertain why she was detained. There's no legal explanation behind this. In June of 2021, Deborah starts posting about her GoFundMes again. In July of 2021, her videos for promotion become very intense and very weird, and she puts a lot more insults in it and saying like there's an issue that people are. And in August 2021, she makes those 2 GoFundMes. This time period, people are going back to her YouTube account and people are talking about how she's fundraising money and disappearing, and she posts angry messages about her followers on her GoFundMe, and these video messages are really mean because they're just asking for more money, and is upset when people are not donating more. January of 2022, Deborah is still promoting her GoFundMe, and this is when people start realizing about her GoFundMe. She also had, in October of 2021, she made another GoFundMe. It's called Debbie's Transition Fund. Actually, that's in September of 2021. And then in December of 2021, she made another GoFundMe. So she made 2 more. Made some really angry tweets, getting people upset now. I want to read you guys the comments made by Deborah to her GoFundMe organizers. So now that you've gotten the timeline for everything, let's talk about the comments she made towards her GoFundMe. 5,000 donors are ignoring me. I've fallen so far behind making progress with my campaign. My medical transition is at risk now, and I'm facing many roadblocks unless a miracle happens or I receive a lot more support soon. I don't know what to do. I'm so depressed and I'm stressed out, and it's unfortunate that the 70,000 followers on my TikTok seem to lack the attention span necessary to meet my goal, my full goal soon. I'm grateful for everyone being so generous. Then she posted another one a month before that saying, I guess my owners don't care if I live or die. I'm facing eviction tomorrow. Unless I can raise the $5,000 left for overdue rent. I'm very grateful for everyone who is continuing to donate to my campaign. It looks like most donors don't even care whether or not I live or die or have somewhere safe to live. Now, what happened when people talked about this situation? So we had a creator by the name of Zaya Persian. And she's a TikToker with 3.6 million followers, who is also a Black transgender woman, and talked about how Deborah Crankin is scamming her fans out of money. Talked about the entire situation, talked about it in depth. The clips are posted over on at Internet Girls, but if you want to see it, and she basically called out Deborah for what she was doing. Also had another creator by the name of Deborah, who also called out Deborah Crankin for scamming her fans. And these are the two creators that made the loudest impact because they were the biggest creators. The voice went the furthest. And these are the two creators that Deborah Crankin also chose to respond to very angrily. People also found how much it cost Deborah Crankin to rent out her studio. $1,900 per day for a 12-hour lockout, and $160 per hour after 12 hours. She also started a GoFundMe on the page for the day she asked for tips on how to crowdfund for a project she's working on. She absolutely has some sort of scammer tendencies, but what also is very scary and sad is that when called out on this and proven that she did some sort of scam, she doubled down on her word and fought back and called them haters and is still crowdfunding for money. It's dedication. Everyone has some sort of dedication, but it's ultimately very sad in the end because I don't believe she even realizes how wrong she is what she's doing. And the fact that she created multiple GoFundMes to gain traction, to end traction, and got into fight with multiple TikTok creators, would go on live and swear at them and make them all angry. So if you donated to these funds, there are ways to get refunds on GoFundMe. I recommend you check those out. Of course, all this information is alleged. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe and comment and like and all that.